Hey there, this is Sacco303 with a video on the Driller class in Deep Rock Galactic. And this video is to show you how you can hold easily a chokehold situation with dozens of enemies pouring through with just the cryo cannon configured a certain way. And so here's a scene in the wild. The team had just completed blowing up a Crassus detonator, and right as we came back from sheltering from that detonation, and there of course is the explosion and the remarkable amount of gold that it created. Sure enough, I turn around and some bugs started coming through. And it ended up being a pretty big wave, and here I am just targeting all the bugs as they come through with the cryo cannon. And they started off pretty thick, and then they continued. There's kind of like two mini waves that came through, and just basically all by myself, and kind of handling the whole situation. There is a scout to my left, but he's mostly using his pickaxe. We'll see him run up there in a sec to finish off the last guy. So that's just a way that you can really see that the driller is a very, very lethal class, and some people prefer the flamethrower, and I don't have any problem with that at all. Flamethrower is awesome, but the cryo, in my opinion, is superior because it'll slow enemies down, it'll freeze them, and if it doesn't outright kill them because they're smaller monsters, then it's going to give you flexibility for your team to either take it out or for you to use your throwing axes or anything like that. So anyway, that's just one example. There's another example of where you can use it as sort of wave defense. So let's say, for instance, you're getting spawned on by a swarm, and there's just too many bugs. They're coming from too many different directions. And so something that I've used in the past with great success is to just turn into the wall and start drilling. And my drills start heating up, of course, and I can either overheat them, or I can wait till they're almost overheated at about 95%, and then immediately turn around, arm the cryo, and just start laying waste to anything coming in the tunnel. If we've got a team, it'll sort of narrow out a little bit, because some of those bugs will be chasing other teammates. But if not, then the cryo cannon alone is enough to really hold them off. And so generally speaking, for the slashers and or the grunt guards, which are a little tougher than the normal bugs, you can throw a single throwing axe to defeat them, and that will keep them from going. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to point out how fantastic the driller is at guarding a specific waypoint and holding down a chokehold of attacking enemies. Hey, you may be wondering what configuration I used on the cryo cannon in this video, and it's really pretty simple. This is the layout here if you just want to take a quick glance. But in detail, there's the larger pressure chamber, which allows you to shoot for a longer time before needing to refill the pressure chamber. And this is really a key in my mind, because you could just lay down the trigger for long periods of time without letting up. And that's the key to that chokehold suppression situation. Of course, you want a larger reserve tank whenever possible. This is just going to be a basic ammo increase. And then increased flow volume. This is going to freeze stuff faster. And the alternative choice here would be to refill the pressure chamber faster. I just don't find that to be useful. And then finally, we got another ammo grab here. This is just another larger reserve tank, and we're maximizing our duration, our stamina in a long fight without a resupply. And then finally, there's this guy, which is called Radiance. This would allow you to freeze enemies that are within 5 meters of you, and I just don't find that really to be useful. I'd rather cause some effect to my target, so I went with Fragile, and that's there's a chance that frozen targets will just spontaneously shatter, which is always good. And then finally, if you don't have an overclock, that's okay, but I chose the perfectly tuned cooler. This is a clean overclock. It's nothing but bonuses, and this one gives you extra freezing power and increased flow rate. And so, as you can see by the description of this build, like this is basically a build that is going to allow you to freeze stuff very quickly and hold an area down very effectively. So let me know, what do you think is the most effective way to hold down a single choke point, and what classes do you use, and abilities do you use to perform that same task, and how do you use the driller? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching, and look forward to more videos in the future. Thanks. Rock and Stone.